It's Sunday, the 16th day of May, 2010. We're going to be live here for the next 2 hours. Thank you for joining us. I have a lot of important news I want to cover today, but I mainly want to get into what's happening with the banking structure worldwide. It was $160 billion they needed a week ago, then $600 billion, then $1 trillion, now several trillion. They need your tax money. The private central banks can't tell you where the money's going, but if you don't give them the money, they're threatening to exacerbate the depression that they have designed. And the larger debate is, are the globalists losing control of a crisis they created? We know they created the crisis. That's not debatable. We have their internal emails. They changed the laws. They plan to create a global debt bubble and then loan the world fiat money back and set up a banking dictatorship via a global constitution of the G20 with worldwide financial taxes, VAT taxes, carbon taxes. But now it is really starting to get out of control and is actually become a contagion that is causing real criticism and the fingers of the people of the planet to be pointed in the right direction. JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, and others. So when we come back from this quick break, I'm going to get into all of this banking news today. And then in other stacks of news, we have an article up on Infowars.com that's boil down. And it says, Thai military slaughter of red shirts intensifies. And this shows a population valiantly standing up against a illegitimate, corrupt government that has been looting them and robbing them. And militarized police are shooting men, women, and children in the streets every day. 22 dead just in the last 2 days, 170 wounded. And that's probably a low number from Voice of America. But I was watching these videos, and it showed Thai citizens with slingshots that you would buy at 7-Eleven. You know, the little plastic-handled rubber band slingshot? I mean, I've bought them for my son and daughter. We put tin cans up in the backyard, and from about 10 feet away, they try to knock the tin cans over. This is not a wrist rocket that you can kill somebody with a big ball bearing, which, by the way, is a great low-tech weapon to defend yourself if you don't have firearms or some type of sword. But these people are fighting a heavily militarized, heavily armed army that has M16s and grenade launchers in the capital city of Thailand with slingshots. I mean, so I'm going to play some of that video later. In fact, I sent you guys that video. Do you have that whole list of Thai videos? It's video number 2 from Thailand. It's probably the only one we're going to play. And then there's other stories like this one that I mean, you see articles like this out of the Herald Sun. Parents pimp kids for swine flu test. Parents are enrolling children as young as 9 months old in drug trials in exchange for hundreds of dollars in cash. And then we have another story here. New York midwives lose right to deliver babies at home. This is the medical tyranny. And I'd actually already seen this in history books and in Pentagon reports, but here it is admitted. London Telegraph, USSR planned nuclear attack on China in 1969, but the United States said no. That's because the United States put Mao Zedong into power in 1949, and that has been declassified. And I'm not saying it was good that the Russians wanted to nuke them, but this is just a really bird's-eye view into all of this, so that's coming up. Also, scientists forecast decades of ash clouds. Many more of Iceland's volcanoes seem to be stirring, and they know that's a 1,000-year, 1,100-year cycle. Will Al Gore put a tax on the volcanoes and maybe wave a magic wand if we buy him another 24-bedroom palace? Will he fix the evil carbon being spewed by these? We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Well, in the 13 years of Infowars.com, I guess almost 14 years of Infowars.com, we've never had this much traffic. If you go up to Alexa.com and type in Infowars.com, just one of the big rating services, Infowars is only right at about 10% behind the Drudge Report right now. Now, I don't expect for that to continue because that's how we always work. We go to a new level, then it goes back down, but always overall the graph is up. But I tell you, that is very, very exciting to see that much traffic coming into the site. And that just shows, the population down there, another gauge, another indicator, another yardstick, barometer, measurement of the fact that the type of information we cover on this radio broadcast is becoming extremely mainstream. And that's good. Before I get into all the news, I went out to the Texas Hill Country for a birthday party. One of my son's friends was having a camp-out birthday party at a little house they had out in Wimberley, beautiful Wimberley, right by this creek. And there were probably 10 other kids there with their parents, and most of them didn't know who I was. Some of them did and were listeners and fans. I think 3 of the 10 families. But all the other ones were completely anti-New World Order, and they were doctors and lawyers and people like that. I mean, they were all really intelligent and high-class, nice people. And they were going, yeah, next door is John Wayne's grandkids. They're leaving the country because of the New World Order. They're moving to Costa Rica. And I talked to all these other well-to-do people in Austin, and they know the really well-to-do people who all left years ago because of the global government taking over. And the word is they're going to take basically everybody's property and just raise taxes on everything and just rob the middle class until it doesn't exist anymore. But that was interesting to see that yet again, because everywhere I go, I mean, these people really knew their stuff. Everybody I talked to at the party, while the kids are running around wild in the woods and playing in the stream, was fully aware of basically everything and had a deep understanding of it and knew exactly what was going on currently. And then I talked to him and I said, is this something going on in Wimberley? And they said, yeah, no. They said more than half the population of Wimberley now is fully aware and basically dug in against the New World Order. But then some people are just completely evacuating the country. So it's gone in phases. And I first started telling you about this 5 years ago when I discovered that a lot of the wealth of this nation, both the brain trust wealth, the professional wealth, but also money wealth, is fleeing the nation. And a lot of that is because I was talking to one of the wealthiest women in America. I guess this is 3 years ago. And she said that the United States basically won't exist in the near future financially. And then I went and looked her up, and there was her picture, found out she was for real, found out that, she owned a defense contractor company and all this other stuff. And she knew because she's up there at the higher echelons and also lives in New York at the time and understood how real this was. So I hope the average yuppie who only cares about basketball and football and who thinks they're cool and who laughs at danger and thinks that as long as they don't care about things, they don't exist. Let me explain something to you, okay? Let me explain something to you. It's now been in the mainstream news. In fact, pull it up. The one I saw 2 weeks ago was record number of Americans leaving over taxes. Record number of American expatriates. And then in the article it talked about it's the highest earners, the highest degree levels. The most intelligent people are fleeing the United States. Now, they're leaving because they are in and around the elite. They're part of the elite. They hear it. And there I was talking to medical doctors and others, and they were going, oh, yeah, no, it's total eugenics, total world government takeover. I was talking to one doctor who hadn't even heard my show, hadn't even heard me discussing it, And he already knew about it. I said, well, you know about all the new types of vaccines they're coming out with that actually go into the brain? And he said, yes, attack the neuroreceptor nerve endings and basically re-engineer your brain and turn you into a zombie. And I said, yeah. And he already knew all about that. And, I mean, that's the type of stuff we're facing. And I never said Alex Jones should be the great messenger of all this information. There's the headline: American expats giving up citizenship in record numbers. And what publication is that out of? I believe I saw that in AP. It's way across the room on the computer screen. I can't read it.